Hello. So something that I wanted to talk about today, it's something that has affected me in the past personally, and I'm seeing it just every day now. Every single day I go online and it's just there every day. I'm part of a couple of electrician community forums on like Facebook, I think Reddit. So yeah, basically two forums, and it's daily now that I see a van has been broken into overnight, and a trader, and this is just electricians, and an electrician has essentially just lost all of his tools. That's him out of work. If he hasn't got those tools insured, if he hasn't got that money in the bank to replace those, that's it. He's out of work, right? And for me, I believe that this is a massive problem now, because it's not just a rare few instances. It's everywhere. It's all the time. I'm only on two forums, and it's daily that I'm seeing these. And there are hundreds of, if not thousands, of different forums throughout the UK, that I'd imagine have their own videos being uploaded, to say, yeah, my van's been broken into overnight, got no tools left. And I think what needs to happen, what the government need to do, is just crack down on these people that are doing this, because at the minute they're getting away with it, and that's why they continue to do it, because they're going to make money from it. There's nothing, no deterrent for them. Yeah, I mean, the justice system in England, seriously, who's scared of the justice system in England? Let's face it, these days, police officers are just glorified debt collectors. That's it. And it's through no fault of their own. I'm not saying police persons are bad. I'm saying the systems that are put in place are just shite, just absolute waste of time. The amount of times you see that a police officer has done his or her job, arrested a suspect or a person, and gone through all the right procedures. They go to court, and then in court, the judge will just let them off with a fine and suspended sentence or something like that. It's at a point where just no one fears the justice system. I know I definitely don't. I certainly don't myself. I'm no angel. I've broken the laws in the past. I've been arrested in the past, spent nights in the cell in the past. Nothing for as scummy as stealing somebody's livelihood, just minor things. But still, it's no, for me, thinking to myself, oh, I might get arrested if I do that. That's not a deterrent whatsoever, because I know that when it goes to court, I'll just be let off with a slap on the wrist. And that's that. So yeah, I just think it's a very, very sad state that the country is in right now, where a person can't even a person can't even have a trade anymore through fear of just having everything stolen from you overnight. You can't you can't just have a livelihood and know that you're going to get up and go to work the next morning. You can't do that, because you can't take that for granted these days, because there's always going to be some scummy bugger that lives just around the corner that's going to do it, that's going to steal all of your shit. My own personal experience of this, I was working in a job in London, and we used to leave all of our tools on the job overnight. It was a very large project. Used to leave all our tools on the job overnight. One night, the property got broken into. Everything gone. That was it. Everything's gone. At that point, there were, I would say, maybe 15 different tradesmen on site: plumbers, carpenters, electricians, plasterers, all working in and around each other. And I think out of those sort of 15, 20 traders, probably half the squad just said, well, I'm going home. I ain't got any tools, can't do anything. What's the point? I don't know if those traders are still trading or anything. For myself, I'm not anymore. I'm not a tradesman. And that's that, The only thing that I can say about that really is that it's the government that needs to just make a public announcement, really, just to say, right, the law now is going to be so much stricter on people that are doing this, or anything else for that matter, because it's not just tools theft and break-ins and things like that. No one is scared of the police for anything, for nothing. Any time that I go to break the law, if I do go to break the law, it doesn't even enter my mind, oh no, what if I get caught for this? Because I know that if I do get caught for it, that the sentence that I'm given is just going to be so ridiculously minor that it's not a deterrent at all. It's nothing. It's genuinely nothing. And that's how these people feel about it. I saw a video the other day of a guy that he had two lads breaking into his property to steal all of his stuff. I don't know if he was necessarily a trader or anything. He did have a wife and family at home, kids obviously involved. And he pursued, obviously the robbers, the burglars, they woke him up during the burglary. He pursued them. They got into a stolen car. So they were using a stolen car to rob somebody's house. He pursued them, basically crashed his, I think it was Mercedes, so a nice car. I mean, he's a working man. He's going out and working every day. And he crashed his car into theirs to stop them, to stop them getting away. During that incident, during that crash, obviously he's in a very nice, luxurious car, Mercedes. They're in a piece of shit that they've stolen. Probably everything's disabled on it because they've botched it to get it started. So they were injured during that chase, and he was absolutely fine. So the two lads that were robbing this guy, they got let off. They got absolutely nothing. Taken into consideration, they were robbing him. They were in his property, burglaring him. Okay? So he pursued them. He did the police's job for them, chased them down, caught them, and they just happened to get a little bit injured during that. Fuck me. If that was me, I would have got out and just fucking battered them. But yeah, he got arrested, and he's got a 22-month jail term because he stopped these lads from burglary on his property. And you know, God knows what what else they may have been thinking. I mean, he's got a wife and he's got children at home. They could have been fucking nasty pieces of work. So yeah, he's basically done the job for the police, and when it goes to court, he gets put into prison, and the two lads let off. And they did have an update at the end of the program to say that the two lads as well, the guy went to prison. It's, you know, there was no disputing that. He couldn't say, oh no, you know, he's in prison now because he defended his family. And the two lads were caught like a week later in another stolen car. So that's how England is at the moment. If you defend yourself, no, you go to prison. If you're an asshole and you're the one that's doing all the damage and ruining the economy and putting people out of work and stealing tradesmen's tools, driving good tradesmen out of the trade, you carry on. You go back out. You carry. Good job, great job, little buddy. You carry on. And that's the message that we're sending to people now. It's utterly ridiculous. Like I said, I'm out of the trade. I've had enough. I've been an electrician for 14, 15 years. Had enough of it. There's a lot of things that changed over the years that I was in the trade. Probably the main thing for me was when David Cameron was in power. He did say that he was going to make the country more entrepreneurial. And all he did was make it so bad to be a tradesman in the UK that so many more people just said, sod this, I'm going to start my own business and go self-employed instead. So for statistics, it was great. He did what he was meant to do, because he made the UK more entrepreneurial by driving people out of employed work and just made them become a company. So on the cards, it looks good because you've got more self-employed people, more businesses starting up. In real life, it's terrible, because all he did was make the trade so bad that people just said, nah, sod this, man, I'm just going to go out and do it myself. And I was one of those traders, by the way. I did, when David Cameron's reign ended, I did, because it got so bad, I did go self-employed. I was self-employed for many years. And it was only sort of halfway through that self-employment that I realized what he had done and why he's such an arsehole. I absolutely despise David Cameron. I fucking hate the guy. Yeah, but back to this tool theft. It's ridiculous, because all that's going to happen is all the goods tradesmen, all the people, all the tradesmen that have been in the game for years, like myself, know what they're doing, know these systems inside and out, can fix a problem, no hassle, actually know how to fix problems. They're just going to say, well, fuck it. I've been on good money in the 90s and in the early 2000s. I've earned good money then. I'll call it a day, and I'll just go and work in Wix or B&Q or something for the rest of my life, because I don't need to earn that much money anymore, and it's not worth me having all the risk of being a trader anymore, because it isn't. It's not worth it anymore. It's really not. And then what's going to happen is that the industry is going to become saturated with 6-week wonders, with these people that go out and they just pay for one of these courses that promises you can get your qualifications in 6 weeks. You need to understand that rushing through a course like that and getting qualifications in 6 weeks is ridiculous. You cannot learn these systems in 6 weeks. It's not possible. You cannot learn how to route cables properly through a property in 6 weeks. You cannot learn these things in that small amount of time. You genuinely can't. And it's worrying, because honestly, all you're going to find in the upcoming years is that, yeah, all the tradesmen, all the decent tradesmen have left the industry, and they're all just doing silly little whatever jobs now. I even know of other traders that are just doing nights at like superstores and things like that, purely because the amount of money that you earn as a trader and the amount of money that you earn working nights in a supermarket stocking shelves, it's that close that it's not worth the time anymore to be that tradesman. Because with being a tradesman as well, you have to do tool maintenance, van maintenance. You have to have your liability insurance, pay for fuel. All of that comes into it as well. Go out and quote. So it's long hours as well. Invoicing, chase up money. And it's just not worth it. You may as well do nights at a local supermarket, earn probably a third, maybe 3/4 of what you would as a electrician, and not have all that hassle. And that is something that more and more people now are just going to do and looking to do, and already are doing. I mean, I keep hearing that there's a shortage of tradesmen in the UK. Seriously, do you wonder why? It's just not worth it. It's not worth it anymore. The only tradesmen that are going to be in the UK now are those that have worked crap jobs for a majority of their life, get to their sort of 30s, 40s, and think, do you know what? I'm going to get a trade now. I can do that in 6 weeks and become qualified. And that's what's happening. They're going to do that, become qualified in 6 weeks, think they're the bee's knees, and then they're going to go out and just mess up a load of stuff or do just ridiculously stupid work. And you see it all the time. I know that there's plenty of TikTok channels now, YouTube channels as well, of like site officers, site managers, project managers and whatnot going around sites with a camera, and they'll plumb line the brickwork and stuff. It's all out. It's, the walls are going like that. The electrics, you know, there's cables where there doesn't need to be cables. Two-way circuits don't work properly. And are you seriously going to question why? It's exactly as it sounds. The good tradesmen have just gone. It's not worth it anymore. Gone. And all that's left is the half-wits that have only been an electrician for 6 months to a year, and they don't know properly what they're doing, and they're happy to work for that lower wage than what a proper tradesman should earn. And so yeah, that's all that the industry is going to be left with. When I say this, by the way, there are two different types of industries, because you have new build industries and you have what I call proper electrician work. New builds are very easy. They're just, you know, if you know what you're doing, you can knock it out. No problem, no time. When it comes to fault finding, things like that, you have to know what you're doing, because you have to know how these systems work inside and out to fix them. And that's where the problem comes. Anyone can, a wireman can wire a new build. It's relatively easy. It's when everything else comes along. It's at the end of the job when you've got the snagging list. That's when they go, oh no. And again, I've experienced that myself. Locally where I live, there was a housing estate, a development that went up like 2 miles up the road. Okay, I've got delivery. I'm just going to have to pause this 1 second. So I'm back. I've had my delivery, all done. So as I was saying, yeah, I had an instance myself where a new build was being built around the corner. At that time, I was self-employed, so they looked me up on whatever site, found me and said, we've got a property, the whole house, it's a new build, whole house has no electricity. We've made it live, no electricity there. And all the sparkies on site can't work out why. They don't know what's going on. So I went out to this property. All the sparkies stood around me because obviously they wanted to see what I do to learn how to fix it, even though they're qualified sparkies. And anyway, all I did was went into this cupboard in the property where the distribution board was. They'd only opened one side of this cupboard, pulled down the distribution board flap, and seen that all the breakers were on, so assumed everything's on, but there's no power, something's wrong. So what I did is I went in there, opened the other side of the cupboard, and what was being covered by that that door was the main isolator, was the big red one at the far side of the distribution board, and all they'd done was left that off. That was it. So I literally went in there, opened the other side, saw it, flicked it on. There you go, you got electricity. But 5 electricians were on site and none of them could work out what was going on. They didn't even go to open the distribution board, see if there was a loose connection, see, you know, broken buzz bar, anything like that. Didn't even think of doing anything like that. Obviously, they all just panicked and just thought, bugger, we got to get somebody in that actually knows these systems. And again, the only reason I'm bringing that up is to emphasize what's going on these days. It's ridiculous. People are being driven out of the industry by scummy people that just don't want to work, that would rather go out, rob somebody, and make a fucking tiny amount of money, rather than actually building up a career and doing something properly, living a life properly. And it's getting to the point now where there are enough scummy people like that are doing that they're having a massive impact on the people that actually want to go out and work. And so, yeah, like I've said, I think in the upcoming years, you're just going to find that, and it gives us a bad reputation as well, because obviously in a few years, it's going to be, the English people don't know what they're doing with electrics. They're useless. It's not that. It's the good ones have just said, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not working in an industry that's just shit, that's not worth my time. And that's where we're going. And I say that that's where we're going. That's not where we're going to go. That's where we're going. It's already happening. Very good electricians, very good carpenters, very good plumbers, very good bricklayers, very good insulators. You know, all these people that make up a good property, when they do their job well, they're leaving the industry because it's not worth it anymore. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth the worry of, are these tools going to get taken? It's not worth not getting paid, because again, I've had that twice. I've been an electrician for 15 years or 14 years. I've had it twice. I've had 2 clients that just did not pay me. Again, that's the world we live in. Yeah. So there you go. That's my thoughts on it. If you ask me, the trade industry in the UK is just absolutely shot. It's just going to go downhill from this point onwards, and that's why I'm out. I'm finished. I'm not trading anymore. I'm not looking for employment as a tradesman anymore. I'm not doing it, and that's that. And I know there are plenty other tradesmen that have done the exact same thing, that feel the exact same way. And so, you know, if any government officials, if anyone with power that can do something sees this video, I genuinely hope you actually listen and do something about it, because the country's just going to shit. It really is. It's genuinely just going to shit in terms of everything: house prices, costs of living, tradespeople, just the mentality of people. It's all just going to shit. And that's another thing, actually. The next generation, this generation that's coming up, that are going to be your electricians and plumbers and carpenters tomorrow, in 10, 15 years time, they haven't got that mentality anymore, because they've grown up in an environment where, again, it's just not worth it. You know, they're people from my age. I know some very, very, very smart people who should have gone to university, who should have got that higher education and done something amazing with their life. And I've spoken to them on site, and they're working as electricians and whatnot. And they say to me, it's just not worth it. Why would I go to university? You're never going to earn that money back that you borrow. You're never going to likely get a job in the industry that you've studied for. So what's the point? That's gonna trickle down, because in again, the next generation, they're gonna just think the same. But with the trades industry, they're going to start saying, well, my tools are going to get stolen. Again, I'm going to have to do an apprenticeship for 4 years, which is going to put me in debt over those 4 years. What's the point? Even when I do get qualified and start working as a tradesman, all chances are that my tools are just going to get stolen, and it's just going to put me out of work, cost me more money. So what's the point? And that is the mentality of the next generation. And I genuinely don't blame them. I genuinely don't blame them. It's sad and it is pathetic, but that is what people have been driven to. So there you go. Yeah, I just think the industry's fucked, basically. And it's that at the minute, there's no way back for it until something drastic is done. And for me, from what I've seen, the solution to this is just to absolutely crack down on these people doing it. Just if you're a government official or anything, just put a public service announcement out, just saying, if you're caught robbing tools, if you're caught with stolen tools, 2-year minimum jail term. And that'd be it. That'd be it. Overnight, no more tool theft. But you won't do that. One, we don't have the room in the prisons because government spending is atrocious at the moment. and many other reasons. You know, it's just, again, the country's just a shit show. And again, actually, thinking about it, some people, I mean, stealing tools and whatnot is scum. That is absolutely the lowest of the low, in my opinion. At the same time, the way some of these really poor people are living, I can't really blame them for what they're doing. It's like at the moment, it's say 2 years ago, if I saw somebody stealing from a supermarket or anything like that, I would have intervened. I would have said, look, fucking put that back or pay for it. Don't be an idiot, for God's sake. You know, get an education, sort your life out. Just come on, get on with it. Better than that. You're better than that. Now, if I see somebody stealing from a supermarket or anywhere else for that matter, I let them get on with it because I don't blame them. The cost of living and everything at the moment is just absolutely ridiculous. The cost of heating your home at the minute is beyond ridiculous. It's an absolute joke. And so, yeah, if I see somebody committing a crime, my assumption nowadays is not that these people are scum, it's that these people are desperate. And again, whose fault is that? The government's. Because they're letting all this shit happen. The country's fucked, man. It is fucked. And it's only going to get worse over time. We're going to have no decent tradesmen, no trade, no intelligent people, because people aren't going to, and clever people aren't going to universities or colleges or anything anymore. It's not worth it. Obviously, let me know your views and opinions and whatnot. One last thing, though, if you are a person that is desperate and thinking about going out and stealing some shit, just do us a favor, steal from big corporations, okay? Steal from Co-op, Tesco's, places like that, okay? Don't steal from tradesmen. It is just fucking scum, okay? But there you go. No one will fucking listen, because no one ever does. This is just me venting, because what else can you do?